Welcome back to the channel, A Busy Retirement with me, Georgie. Now today's video is on a refurbishment of my pantry. But before I get to that, I'm going to take you back in time 40 years. It's almost 40 years since I've been in this house. We moved in September of 1986. So when the house was going to be built, it actually came with no pantry and an upright electric stove. Now I needed a pantry and I wanted a gas cooktop and gas hot water. I'd already lived in one all-electric house, and there's nothing worse than the power goes out, you can't have a hot shower, you can't boil the kettle for a cuppa, and you're halfway through cooking your tea or your dinner, whatever you call it, and the power goes out and you've got to wait. You don't know how long you're going to have to wait, but your food is going to be sat in pans, half cooked. So I said to them that this is what I wanted, and would it be possible to add that to the home that I'd chosen? So, of course that can be done. It's going to cost you extra, so I don't care. I'll pay the extra because these are the things I want. Now, I can't remember now what the actual design was. I do remember it was a little dark, pokey house that it went into, and I think a lot of that was to do with the colours as well. It was sort of like browns and greens and definitely not my colours. So I can't remember whether the kitchen originally finished here on this wall. All of this here, like the bulkhead here, wasn't in there. It was just like a flat wall with a window and the sink and then the stove. Now, on this side, because this actually comes out further, I can't remember whether this was jutted out just a little bit from the lounge room, because the recess to the lounge room wall finishes right here on the edge of this tape measure, which is just past this wall here. It's out sort of like that, away from that wall. I can't remember what it was, but I got myself my gas cooktop and I got myself my pantry. So from there, I'll actually show you some photos of the house being built. Nearly 40 years ago it was being built, and there have been a lot of changes in the street and in the area. So we'll go into the office and I'll pop up some photos now of my original pantry and the progression through the years of how it's changed. So let's head into the office. Well, are you ready for a trip down my memory lane? Come and reminisce with me. This was when the bricks were first delivered to the block, ready to build my new home back in 1986. And as you can see, I'm on quite a sloped block. That's actually a school driveway behind me. These are my two boys. One of the window frames, here's another one. And this street now, there's all these houses. There's another house being built in here. There's fences everywhere. Everybody's got nice gardens, trees growing, and the trees in the background are now rather large. So you feel like you're in the country when it's quiet, like on a weekend. It's quite quiet and you can hear all the birds. It does feel like you're in the country. So this is the house now, almost at roof stage. This is Matt poking his head through my bedroom window. So 40 years ago that all started. And this was the original pantry that they built for me. This was it, 4 shelves. And unfortunately what was happening was, you can see they're absolutely filthy. This was changed in, I think it was 2015. I had some civil engineering students at the local university boarding with me, and they offered to redesign it for me because stuff was being pushed to the back of these shelves and I didn't know what was there. So 4 shelves wasn't very good for a pantry. So the boys rebuilt it for me, and we put baskets in so that I could at least pull a basket out to see what was in behind at the back. And it worked for a while, and it was good for the 3 of us because the boys also stored their stuff in there as well. But after the boys left, I was struggling with the baskets with my arthritis, and I decided I'd get in a carpenter who redesigned it again, and this was what he built for me, which gave me a lot more space along that back wall and into this corner here. So having had that done, I could fit a lot more stuff. Now all my products were stored in Tupperware, and as my arthritis got worse, I couldn't grip and pull the lids off, and I couldn't hold on to it to pull it with the left hand. So my stepmom put me on to flip top lids, and you can see I've started now changing here to the flip top lids, and I just did little post-it notes to say what was in each, ready to start creating my own labels, which I have put a video up that you can go and have a look at if you haven't seen it. So I've started a little collection here, and Kmart used to sell them, and I just started getting the collection together, and Kmart discontinued them. And what I needed was more of these rectangular ones for flour and things. So I went looking to see what I could find. Oh, this is also my spice rack. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. These are spice racks I've made to put on the door so I could have easy access to my spices. And they were actually made from, your cooling trays for cakes, these ones. I just got 3 of those and I bent them into shape, and then I spray painted them red. Now the problem with that is, these are the spice containers. These are my new spice containers, and if I pop that in there, you can see there's a fair bit of space in there. So these spice racks now are too narrow to fit these square ones in. I'll show you the flip top lid. Look how easy that is. Just pop it down, lift it up, pop it down, and that's now nice and secure. It's not going anywhere. And they are, BPA free, so they're good quality. So I had a few from Kmart. Kmart discontinued them, and as you can see, here's all my Tupperware, and I went to all of them into the flip top. Now, when I first went looking online to see could I get any online, I managed to find some. They were in Spotlight. Now, this one here is a screenshot of my second search at Spotlight. So I actually first went to Spotlight in April, 24th of April, and I managed to get this set here for $29. So saved up my pension again a little bit longer for another month, went back to have a look, and yes, they're still on sale, but now they're $72. Normally $120, so at $29 I got a real bargain. But while I was looking at this and thinking, well, I came across, there's another little shop up near Bunnings called Kitchen Warehouse, and they had the rectangular one that I wanted for $12.95, and if I bought 4, I only paid for 3. So I thought, okay, there's a bargain. So I went up there to get them. And what did I find? But they had the spice set. So you get a set of 12 for $24.95. So I thought, okay, 12, maybe I need to get 2 sets. So the whole lot was $88.75. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. But then if I signed up to be a member of Kitchen Warehouse, I got another $10 off. So it was $78.75. So I'm now revamping my whole pantry into the flip top containers. So what happened then was I was emptying my pantry out to put all the products into the new containers. And I checked use by dates. Now, this brown sugar here was rock solid. Had to go. All of these others, they were between I think it was 2014 or 2017 and 2024. Now, I got rid of all of that, and I know sugar you can keep. There's no use by date on sugar. But I don't know how long they'd been in the pantry, because I don't use sugar. And if I put those back in the pantry, they could be there for the next however long I live in this house for, taking up space, using a container that can be used for something else. So all of this went. I did keep these containers. I don't like throwing things away that may come in handy. And yeah, it could be something useful for when I'm doing anything with glitter, because I can pour it. I can use it for larger size glitter, or I can use it for smaller size glitter. So I don't know. I'll hang on to them for a little while, and if I can't think of any use for them, then they will go. But they might come in handy out in the garden. I don't know. So keep an eye out, stick around for however long as you can. There's going to be all sorts of videos coming up in the future, and you might find one of these containers in there. So that's it for my kitchen. And now you can see part of my screensaver, which is a bit boring because all you're getting is the dolphin's tail. I might actually take a photo of the whole thing so you can see what it looks like. So now for the next part is I've now got to make a new spice rack for these little containers. So that's the project that I am going to be working on today. And it's taken me nearly 10 minutes to get to this part. I hope you enjoyed my little walk down memory lane. Let's get on with the project. So this is the old spice rack. I've had to put it on the white chopping board so you can see what I'm doing, because the red against the red is not that easy to see. So this spice rack held, I can't remember how many of the, I think it was 6 or 7 of the round ones. With these, it will only hold 6. So if I put 6 against it, my problem with that is I've only got 3 racks. And drilling holes into a hollow door and putting hooks is a nightmare. And I can't remember where I put the extra hooks. I've put them out there somewhere in a shed. I don't know where. So what I would like to do is keep it to 3 racks and put 8 per rack. Now I've got space on the door. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it here. I've got a hand width there, and well, a thumb to that finger there. A little bit more on that side. So I could fit a rack on there that would take 8 containers. So what I did was I had a look at my favourite place to go shopping, and I managed to get a sheet of it's plastic coated or PVC coated wire. Now they've got quite large squares in this one, where that one was just straight lines, but I'll still be able to fit a container. It takes up 4 squares. So once it's bent into shape, they'll sit in it nicely. So what I need to do is, if I measure my door, and take it to either side of the hooks, I could do that at 460. Now 460, how wide is a container? Each container is 55 mil. So 55 mil, I haven't got my calculator, I haven't got my phone. So 55 mil 8 times, I'm gonna have to go and get my calculator. Okay, so 55 mil times 8 is 440. So I can get away with doing it 460 wide, which will fit, it'll still fit on the door. So I need to measure 460. Now this was 600 by 900, so I'm going to be easily get them what I need. So 460 takes me to just beyond this. So I might, that's 450, it's about 457, which is only 1 mil either side. So I'm thinking what I might do, because I've got plenty of space there, I might take it to the next one, which is at just over 480. So what I need to do is just make sure that that will fit the door, so that the door will close. So if I take it to 480, that's actually 485. Let's see if 485 will fit. Oh, only just. Yeah, it'll still fit. So I can do that, and then I'll have a bit of leeway on either side, because I don't want them tipping off the edge. So I'm hoping that these snips will actually snip this. If they won't, it means I've got to get the angle grinder out, and I really don't want to use an angle grinder on something so thin and flimsy. The Dremel one might work. Oh, that's good, I can do it. It actually comes on the other side of the label, so I don't have to worry too much. So that one there, tape measures just hit the deck. Now this is the hard part, is having the strength. A guy could probably snip through this in no time at all. There you go, it worked. So that's the first one done. Let's get that out of the way, because what I need to do now is work out, now that I've got my first snip, I know where I'm going, the depth I need to go. Now I could keep that size, but to me that's a waste of space. So what I might do is cut it down one there and take it to, so I've only got one here and one less there. And that way, actually, let me see, because I've already got a label on this one, and I've started putting a use by date at the bottom, so I can see at a glance whether it's out of date and lost its flavour or whether it's still in date. Because that was the problem. I was actually using the herbs in my cooking, and it's like they're still flavourless. There was something missing. That's because they were so old, they'd lost their flavour. So if I look at that now, I could take it down even one more, because that would hold it in place. It just wouldn't fall off. And then I can see at a glance, I can see the use by date at the bottom, and I can see at a glance what's in it. So that might be the way to go. So I'm going to just have one row across the front. So I'm going to measure that from there. I'm going to take it around here to 2 rows down. And that gives me 16.5 centimetres. And if I put that over the container from there, it still gives me enough space to hook it over the hooks on the door. Okay, so I need 3 at 16.5. So 16.5 is there, which unfortunately is halfway. It came halfway between this one and the next one. So I'm going to go to the next one, which will give me, boop, 18 centimetres. So that would be a really good size. And it gives me that little bit extra at the top, because I've also got to figure out where I'm going to be bending it, don't I? That's a thought. So if I do, that's 2 centimetres, and each square is 2.5. So my back end is going to have to be, let's measure it on this one. If I go from there to there, so it's going to be this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is just a little bit deeper than what this is. So, but that's okay. It'll actually finish in halfway between that bar and that bar. So that's not too bad. I can manage that. And then, so that's, what did I say? That one to that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that goes to there. And then I'm going to do that one. I'm going to go out. That's all right. So that takes to that one. And then I can do 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Then that fits there. Because that's going to be bent on that. I'm going to have to do the bend halfway on this, and then it can come up to that one. So this is my end. I should have brought a piece of chalk out with me, I think. Let's move that over to this side. Whoa. Because I need to make sure I've got these in the right spot, because that's too far out, isn't it? And that's the one, that's the way I need it. And give it a good tight squeeze. No. If I'd done it that way, might be easier to do it down. How did I do the other one? The other one worked. Why won't this one? Gotcha. Okay, so at least now I can see where it's cut, because I've got a bend. I can follow it all the way through. So what I'm going to do now, I'll stop this because it's going to take ages for me to go through and cut each section. I'll come back when I've cut out one, and then we'll go through the bending, and then I'll do the rest. I'm trying to decide whether to spray them red or not. I can't decide, or should I just leave them black? So it's Saturday afternoon. I've got all day Sunday, so if I decide to spray them, I can spray them later tonight, and leave them out to dry, and then finish the video tomorrow. See how we go. Okay, so I'll be back when I've cut through all of this, at least one. I'm not going to go cut them through. I won't video the whole lot. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Okay, these didn't work too well. You can see they're an odd shape, because you can get left-handed and right-handed, but because of the thickness here, trying to get it through between the squares, it was pushing me too far over for where I wanted the cut. So I had to give in and get the Dremel out. So I've got all that lot done, and I'll show you how easy it was to get through that. I will speed it up so you don't have to listen to the grinding noise, because it is annoying. Goes through your teeth on edge, yeah. But anyway, just watch how quick I go through these three. I'll time it on the video, and then when I speed it up, I'll actually tell you at the end how long it actually took in real time. So that's done. Now you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's some silver bits here that I've taken off the PVC coating. So that's now decided me, I'm going to have to paint it. So, but that's one already done. What I'm going to have to do is just go on, there's little sharp edges. So I'll just grind those off. Whoop. Same with this end. I'll go through and make sure all my sharp edges are ground off before I start bending. Otherwise, I can see me ended up with cuts everywhere. Now, what that leaves me with now is this. So I've now got pieces at the top, which I'm going to have to either cut off or bend over. I think it would be better to cut them off. I can't think of anything I could put across the top. They are very sharp, so I think it'd be better to cut them and start again on this next row. All right, so I'll come back when all of that's finished, and I think what I might do, what time is it now? It's 3 o'clock. Because I'd rather spray paint them while they're flat than try and do it when they're bent over. So I'll try and get this done, and then I'll set up outside to do the spray painting. Okay, so I will put the actual time that took. Actually, what I might do is time how long it takes to do a whole section and see. I'll video it while I'm doing it, but I won't put the video up. I don't think. I'll think about that. I might just speed that whole thing up and then you can see how long it took to actually do one whole piece. Okay, so I'll move this one out of the way. Well, I start it from here. Now, what I'm going to do is go down the side and go across just to see how long that takes, and then I'll cut these off at the end of it. So I'm not here for too long. So what I now need to do is measure this one from there, that one. One, two. So that one there is my first cut. I'm going to have to change my blade. It shrunk. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a lot smaller than it was when I started. So I've got to find another one. Hopefully I can get through the whole lot. How many blades have I got? That's a skinny one. That looks like it's been used. That's a skinny one. That looks new. And that's a skinny one. That one's too fat, I think. Although I don't suppose it matters. I'll use the fat one. Okay. Oh, that wasn't good. That broke my blade. Okay. Don't know why that happened. Okay, here we go with the big angle grinder. Let's see how this goes. Should I go that way or that way? This way, because then you can see what I'm doing. Whoop. Maybe I have to go the other way. That's a bit, I think if I turn it around this way, but then I'll go and put my apron on and my gloves. These are actually my rose pruning gloves, which I never put on when I'm doing my roses, and I should. It'll stop all that bleeding on my arms. All right, so I'm a little bit more protected against the sparks. I haven't got any goggles, but hopefully my glasses are going to be enough. At least it's only a small job. Okay, so now I'm going to come from that side, I think, and then you can see where I'm going with it. Natural with gloves. I don't have, let me pull it over here so you can actually see me. I'm not as dexterous with gloves. I'm trying to get things done. There we go. That's not going to work. I've got to go from that side. That's definitely a lot quicker. So now, again, I've got to get this end off. So I haven't got these spikes up the top, but I'm still going to need that to measure from there to there. This is actually a handy little workbench. They held it still while I worked. So now I need to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That gives me 8. Unfortunately, let me see. Make sure I'm right. Okay, so I'm going to have to move it over to be able to get at it. So it's going to be, I'm trying to line it up so I can fit these in to hold it in place while I work. 1, 2. That one there will fit. Okay, that should do. I don't think I can get another one in. Maybe in that one. Those two don't move. That'll hold it. So I'm going on maybe I might come up here first. Nah, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to do it from here. Okay. Oi. All right, that's done. Now what I've got to do is, it's a spare bit. Now I need to get these little ends off here. So that, I don't know if that will hold it tight enough or whether I need to get do it that way and clamp it. I think would be the best way. Be easier if I could use the Dremel because it's smaller and will get up nice and tight, but that's not going to work, is it? So I shall be back. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is cut the ends off that I didn't need, and then I'm going to go over it with the flat part of the grinder just to get rid of all the little sticky outy bits, little burrs, whatever you call them. So first off, here we go again. Gotcha. Now I'll take my glove off because I need to see if it's still sharp bits. A little bit on that corner. Touch there. Okay, that's about as good as it's going to get. There's no real sharp bits. Of course, you've got the edges, but might be able to. They'll be on the inside anyway, so you're not going to feel it when you're on the outside of the rack. So let me do that side, because that side didn't get done. That's it, done. So now all I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this over. I'm going to leave them on here, and I'm going to spray paint them on here. So they can have a coat of paint now, which is 4:15 by that clock. Hopefully it's still working. So I might even be able to come out, turn them over and give them a second coat on the other, give them a coat on the other side. And that way it won't take me too long to get it done. Need something to cover that with. But first of all, I need something to put on there that's, maybe not. I just need a bit of, I need my paint sheet. Whoa. That might, if I can peg that down so it doesn't blow off if it gets windy. That'll do there. I can put that one there. I don't know. I don't think they'll all fit. No, that's not going to fit, is it? Will they fit that way? 1, 2, 3. There we go. That might work. Red spray paint. Where's that? Well, found that one, but there's not a lot in it. It's not going to do this. So it looks like I'm going to have to go to Bunnings, because I can't find my spray paints. And I've got all the colours under the sun. I'm going to go hunting. I'll be back. I'll either find my spray paints or I'll go and buy some at Bunnings. I'll see you when I get back. Okay, I have to apologise here because I'm talking at you and I'm not going to be saying the right thing that goes with my mouth. Mainly because, as you can see, I got changed into some work clothes, shirt that my friend and neighbour tested for me, put the big G on. And I just didn't want to get paint on my good clothes. So what happened was I forgot to put the microphone back on my shirt. As you can see, I've got it on here. I don't think you can see it now. It's on here now. But I'd left the receiver part in the phone. So all you could hear was this garbled noise. So I went to Bunnings, got my new paint, and I'm telling you now about, I couldn't see the colour of it, because it used to be a red lid. Now it's a little clear lid with a red thing. And when it's up high, people like me with duck's disease, you know, your bum's too close to the ground, I couldn't see up there, so I had to go and get somebody tall to come and grab it down for me, which, yeah, the paint guy did. He was very, very nice and understanding. So I got 2 cans of red just in case I need them. As you can see, because it's mesh, it takes a lot of paint because a lot gets wasted going through the holes. So anyway, I got on with that paint job. Now, you may have seen, I don't know if you can see it here, it doesn't look like it's blowing at the moment, but you may have seen earlier there was some smoke floating through here. That's actually coming from an incense stick. I've got a citronella stick burning. I thought I'd better explain what it was in case you thought I was smoking something funny. So anyway, I couldn't find my paint. I don't know where it is. I had heaps of it, lots of colours. The only thing I can think of is I've packed it away somewhere when I was doing a clean-up, or it got mixed up with a whole heap of empty cans that went to the tip a few weeks back. So I don't know. I may come across them again when I'm back out there cleaning up again. I move things and then I can't remember where I've moved them to. So anyway, getting on with this spraying, and what I'm looking at, I do look at the time. It's 5:25 on the clock up here at the back. So I'm working on how long I have to wait before the paint's dry enough for me to turn them over to give the other side a coat of paint, so that I can get this video finished quickly tomorrow. Now, I've just found a cockroach in amongst all of that, and I don't know where it came from, but it's now down on the ground and it's not going to survive because it is covered in paint, and it's not going to be able to, it's actually lying on its back. The incense stick I had to put on because earlier I'd had a mosquito on my hand. I killed it pretty quickly as soon as it landed, but it still managed to get a little bite. So it was early in the afternoon, around about 3-ish, I think, 3:15, which is, it was a bit unusual because you don't normally have mozzies around at that time. Now you can see the smoke coming. Can you see it going through up there? So I had to light the incense stick, and that has kept the mozzies away from me. So I did explain about a mouse. If I'd have seen a mouse on there, you would have seen me run and heard me scream. So now I'm going to leave it to dry and check on it later on and see what happens. And just showing you my shirt that I made. It was a plain shirt. I did the I Love New York and put the Bunnings Warehouse. I grabbed the logo from online and printed that. So that's what I'm showing you. Here we are. It's now Sunday afternoon, almost 1 o'clock, about 2 minutes to 1. And I did come out last night at about 7:15. They were dry enough to flip to put another coat of paint on, which I did. Then this morning, while I was having my first cup of tea of the morning, sitting there contemplating today's project, I thought, well, I don't think I will put the second coat on. I will bend it first, because if I put the second coat on and then when I bend it, I chip paint off, then I've got to put a third coat on, which then is more drying time. So what I did was came out, and I have got 2 that I prepared earlier. So here's one. The reason I prepared them earlier was I wasn't sure how it was going to go bending them. I was using the workbench, pushing it over the edge, and I managed to bend this back piece first. Then when it came to bend the front piece, I ran into a lot of trouble because, don't know if you can see, to put that down there, these handles were in the way because this is actually wider than the handles on my workbench. So that took a bit of doing. Actually, the first one I did that bend first. So, hang on, why has that gone off? I don't know. All right, I've got a close-up camera here that I'm trying to use to video. I think I forgot to press play. All right, so you don't need the close-up yet anyway. So I did the short bit first, and then I did this bit. And this bit was difficult because you imagine once I've got that down on here, I had nowhere to go to do that. I could do that bit, but it was very awkward. So the next one I did, I actually did the long bit. Well, that's the old one. I did the long bit first, and then the short bit I did in my vise, and I'll show you because I'll do the third one the same way. Now, the problem I had is on the original rack that I made, I only had the edge on both sides and then one central vertical. So that was easy to do, and as you can see, that wasn't a good example, but it's easy to bend. This one is not that easy to bend because there's a lot more verticals. It's not as flexible. Once I've got it sort of bent in, I can squeeze it to tighten it to close up the gap at the top. So, and another thing I noticed when I was doing this, because I put a piece of timber, so I wasn't actually hitting the wire itself. Imagine hitting the wire, I'd end up with it not like a ocean wave, be seasick. I put some timber on and was actually hitting the timber, and all the paint came off on the timber. So it's been an interesting exercise. And also what I didn't realise, and it was too late once I'd done it, I've actually done it so that the verticals are on the outside. Remember I said they were going to be on the inside so it wouldn't matter about the rough edges? Well, not thinking. And I've now got them on the outside. The back doesn't matter because that's going to be against the door, but this might. So what I did was I bought this. It's fish tank hose. I bought it to do another project that I'll show you somewhere down the track when I get around to making that video. And I thought what I could do is I'll put it on the edge. And what I'll do is I'll I'll hot glue it down, or I might even try the heat gun and see if I can heat shrink it so that it holds back together, because unfortunately it does flip off quite easily, as you can see. So a bit of hot glue might help, or a heat shrink, I don't know. And then I thought what I might do is I could spray paint that or leave it clear. Haven't decided yet. That's I'll see how it goes. I don't know if the paint will actually hold to the hose. So to show you how I did the first bends. Now, remembering with the back, I had to go down 1, 2, 3, and then do it halfway into the hole. So I have got my clamps. I've got my tape measure set ready, and what I do is I hold the edge of this tape measure against the workbench, and I work this back to 1 centimetre, and that 1 centimetre sits just inside of this bar. Oops. And my boys will tell you I'm shocking at measurements. That looks pretty good. If I'm tiny bit out, it doesn't matter. Actually, I'm gonna clamp it at the back. Oh, hang on. That's the wrong one. I need 1, 2, 3. That one. Would have made the back too short if I'd have carried on with that one. And same with anything, measure twice, cut once. This is measure twice, hammer once. Okay, that's me one. And then the same on the other end. Pop it in, bring it in to 1. Loop, too far out, that one. And just for good measure, I'm going to put in a couple more clamps. And that way we know it's really secure, it's not going to move when I start bashing it. That's going, I might turn that one the other way up as well. Make sure it's well and truly gripped tight. Okay, that's going nowhere. Now to get my piece of timber. So, piece of timber, rubber mallet. And start it off, give it a bash, just to get the bend started. As you can see, it's starting to bend now. The biggest problem I have is this then walks backwards. So what I'm going to do now is put it lengthwise. It gets tiring after a while, especially with that arthritis. So swap hands for a minute. Now you can, I don't know if you can see, let me see if I can move it around a bit. There, no, what I'm doing is actually holding it away from the top. I don't know if you can see it there. And just bashing the bottom now, so the bottom goes in. You can see it's getting closer and closer to being flat against the workbench. It looks pretty good. And so I've got the problem here now. That won't go any further because this handle piece is behind it. But that's okay, because what I can do now is I can, whoops. Whoa. That ends the deck. Move that one down to there a bit. Alright, pick that up for later. And that last bit there, that won't go because it's at that end as well. Okay. Whoop. Oh, two hit the deck. All right, so there's the back now done. That has got a bit of a kink in it there. I'm going to see, can I bash that kink out a bit? And for that, I've got my little hammer. It's a dead blow. It's covered in rubber. So I'll just go along and make sure that's all nice and flat. That kink's still there in that one. Let's see if I can turn it that way and flatten it. Now I can't see where it is. There it is. Nearly. That looks all right. Okay, so now, because I can't now put that there and bash it in that way, this is where the vise comes in. So I'm going to close up this all the way. And plonk that on there. Get it over the edge so the handle sits over. And then what I need to do is, how did I do it? I can't remember. I get that way. Now that has to be on the second one. So 1, 2, that one there. Is it, that goes at the front, so I don't know if you can see on that. I've actually got that second bar level with the top of the vise. And then I'm going to tighten it up. Wait, close it up. This is the fun part, trying to keep it steady while you like that. And then no, I'm on the wrong one again. I'm having a real problem counting bars, aren't I, today? That one. And then this one's going to be a slow process because I'm going to have to go gently all the way along until I've got at least some bend. It's not in. It's not in. Don't know what's on there, but I've just found some goo. It must have been, unless there's some grease. Might be some grease on the vise that's picked up. So now that I've started the bend, might be able to get a so I can bend it a bit easier by hand now that the bend has actually started. The only problem is I'm bending the middle as well. It's not good. That's not happening. I can't remember what I did on that one. Let me put it this way and see. That's working. These jobs will be a lot easier when I start getting myself sorted out and get a proper workbench set up. Okay, let's see how that one looks now. That's looking a bit better. Just middle bit. Now that needs to go down a bit. Let's see, make sure that fits in. So all I need to do is get it to bend a bit more. The back's bending, the top's not. And then what I need to do, that's going to be a nuisance. Let's open that up a bit. It's not going to work, is it? So I don't know if you can see, but the bottom's a little bit curved and I need it flat. So it won't, it just won't fit on anything, unfortunately. So anyway, I'll get that sorted out. But that is done, almost. I'll give them another coat of paint and I'll put the rubber on and see. Let me see if that, yeah, so that's a bit tight now. I've gone too far in on that one. But that's okay, I can pull that back out a bit. That's it. As long as they fit, that's what counts. So that's that bit done now. As I said, I'm not a tradie. I don't know how things work all the time. Give it a go. If it's not perfect, doesn't matter. It's only going in my house. I'm not making it for somebody else. So don't stress if things don't work out as you actually picture them in your mind. So I'll go and get all this finished and hopefully it's what, 20, almost, say 1:30 by the time I finish painting. 3:30, it should be dry enough to turn over to give a second coat to, and then do the tubing on it to protect me from scratches, and then we'll pop it up in the pantry on the door and see how it looks. Okay, so I'll see you when I get back with completely painted spice racks. It's now Monday morning, 5 to 9. I'm sorry this video is late going up, but yesterday, after I'd done the first coat of paint, it started raining. Of course, then the air was damp. It took longer for the paint to dry, for me to put the second coat on. Managed to get it done late last night. It was probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish. And then I tried to do the that hose, the fish tank hose on the edge, and butchered it badly. It didn't work with hot glue, it just kept pulling off. So I thought, well, it's not too bad actually. There's no sharp edges on it, there's no burrs or anything that I can hurt myself on, so I've left it as it is. And as you can see, I've now got 2 rows of spices and herbs already taking up their new home. I've got a few more to get to fill the bottom rack, but as you can see, it fits perfectly on the door. The right amount of containers with a little bit on each edge, so it's not actually sitting there balancing with it tip off. And I'll show you the rest of the pantry because I've done that as well while I was waiting for paint to dry. And this, that is what it looks like now. So nice and neat, everything labelled, so I know exactly what's in. I've got to do a couple more labels for, I've got the white and brown rice that's not labelled. I've got some brown sugar in there that's not labelled yet. And I've got a few other products I need to buy. So I'll be doing labels for those as well. So I think I've finally come to the end of this pantry revamp. I may, once I get everything else finished, I may just take a photo and pop it up in another video in the future, see how we go. So I think it's time to head now to the office and let's go and get the word game, the word puzzle done. So see you in there. I hope you enjoyed that revamp of my pantry, and hopefully it will give you some ideas of redoing yours, storage wise, labelling. Yeah, I do have the video on labelling a few weeks back, so you could have a look at that, learn how to design your own labels. So now it's time for, oh, excuse me, got a frog in my throat from somewhere. Now it's time for our puzzle. So do you remember this one from last week? Split level. How did you go with that one? Hope you got it okay. Like I said, these are all quite easy, but I will be looking for some more difficult ones for the future. That is, if you enjoy the word puzzles. If you'd rather I get rid of them, pop it down in the comments and let me know.
I'm open to all suggestions for a little bit of fun at the end of the video. So continuing with a little fun at the end of the video, see how you go with this one. And I hope to be able to get a new video done a bit quicker. I'm not even sure what I'm doing next week, but stick around. I'm sure it'll be something interesting. So Monday morning, it's time for me to go and get on with the rest of my day. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.